Here's the preview of the Baylor versus Alabama women's basketball game. First of all, this is a 7-10 matchup in the NCAA tournament. Baylor is a 7 seed and Alabama is a 10 seed. And I'm going to go over some players. And keep in mind, both teams have been struggling recently. I mean, Baylor's 3-6 in February, while Alabama's lost the last 4 games, including to a bad Kentucky team. So, just keep that in mind. Some players keep an eye on Alabama. The only double-digit scorer that Alabama has is Brittany Davis, number 23, 5'9" guard. That's a senior. 17.3 points per game, 64 for 189 on threes, 64 for 93 on free throws, 7.1 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, 2.6 turnovers per game, 1.8 steals per game, 1.9 fouls per game. Aaliyah 9, number 32, 6-foot guard, that's a junior, 9.4 points per game, 72 for 161 on threes, 9 for 14 on free throws, 1.1 turnovers per game, 1.2 steals per game, 1.9 fouls per game. Hannah Barber, number 5, 5'6" guard, that's a senior, 8 points per game, 56 for 119 on threes, 26 for 29 on free throws, 2 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists per game, 1.7 turnovers per game, 0.8 steals per game, 1.5 fouls per game. Megan Abrams, number 1, 5'9" guard, that's a senior, 6.9 points per game, 18 for 49 on threes, 27 for 33 on free throws, 2.1 rebounds per game, 1.1 turnovers per game, 0.7 steals per game. Loyal McQueen, number 0, 5'8" guard, that's a junior, 6.8 points per game, 11 for 35 on threes, 60 for 83 on free throws, 2 assists per game, 1.8 turnovers per game, 1.3 fouls per game. Jada Rice, number 31, 6'4" center, that's a senior, 6.8 points per game, 0 for 1 on threes, but 44 for 78 on free throws, 5.4 rebounds per game, 1.6 turnovers per game, 0.8 steals per game, 2.2 blocks per game, 3.1 fouls per game. Sarah Ashley Barber, number 3, 6-foot guard, that's a junior, 6.8 points per game, 15 for 53 on threes, 34 for 52 on free throws, 4.9 rebounds per game, 2.2 assists per game, 2.3 turns per game, 1.5 steals per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 2.7 fouls per game. Jamwa Mingo Young, number 4, 5'8" guard, that's a senior, 5.4 points per game, 4 for 21 on threes, 24 for 26 on free throws, 4.4 rebounds per game, 2 turns per game, 1.4 steals per game, 2.4 fouls per game. Carly Weathers, number 22, 5'11" guard, that's a freshman, 4 points per game, 22 for 55 on threes, 13 for 18 on free throws, 0.8 turns per game, 1 steal per game, 2.7 fouls per game. And the last player I'm going to mention, because it's 1.3 points per game or less, after that, is Ryan Cobbins, number 10, 6-foot guard, that's a senior, 2.7 points per game, 5 for 15 on threes, 7 for 8 on free throws, 2.5 rebounds per game, 1 turnover per game, 1.6 fouls per game. So across the board, you gotta limit your foul trouble. That's easy enough, and I'm gonna put the stats in the description below so y'all can see it. On defense, they will shoot threes, contest that 3-point line. And as you can tell, they're not tremendously tall. I mean, only one player that they use consistently is 6'2" or even 6'3" or taller. Everybody else is 6 foot or shorter when you look at it in terms of who plays or not. I mean, that's the truth. You gotta play good first shot defense. I mean, and again, get the defensive rebounds. And you gotta limit the offensive rebounds for Alabama, especially like the second chance points. You gotta limit the points in the paint if possible, like contain the slashers. You got points out turnovers, like transition, fast break. You gotta limit those, as well as 3-point shooting, of course, and get on them and force turnovers in this game. And of course, you got to be smart defensively too. I mean, you don't want to pick up a silly foul. I mean, you don't want to foul a jump shooter in this game. I mean, that's the truth. And they only played 3 ranked opponents all year. 3. That's it for Alabama. I would also say you got to not allow. Sure, Brittany Davis may get hers. But you got to limit everybody else. I mean, you got to chase them off that 3-point line. Make them shoot long twos instead. I mean, and of course, make adjustments on the fly as well. And I know offensively, you got to take care of the ball. You got to get more rebounds. I mean, that's the truth. And get some good looks. And in that last game against Iowa State, when Iowa State made that run, you took some shots that didn't lead you to that point of being really, really close with Iowa State. And you made those. I mean, at that time, and you just decided to settle. You can't just settle for jump shots. You got to get some good looks in this game. You got to get some assists. Of course, you don't want to limit the assists for Alabama, too. You want to limit those. Of course, you don't want any live ball turnovers. You don't want to limit. You want to limit those as much as possible, and the dead ball turnovers too. I mean, you want to limit those. Of course, you got to make some threes when you can, and make your free throws count. And that means, and of course, defensively, I forgot to mention this. Limit the free throw attempts for Alabama. You got to limit those. Of course, on offense, you got to make them count. I mean, it's true to get some transition points, some points off turnovers, and some points in the paint, and fast break points. And of course, you got to make adjustments to their defense as well. I mean, it's the truth. And it would be helpful if Jaden Owens kind of had that game like she did last game in terms of double digits. But Jamie Asbury has to play better going forward for this team. She did not shoot the ball good at all, with no points. And she's been inconsistent at times, too. You got to have Sarah Andrews step up. I would dare to say Darian Lopez Buggs needs to step up, which she has been stepping up, and she's the freshman of the year for a reason. Bella Fauneroy needs to play a little bit better than recently. Not to say she's bad. Oh, no. She's good. It's just, at times, she struggles. Obviously, you want Caitlin Bickle to step up. I would also say, like, Erica Porter, if she needs to play. Same thing goes for Kyle Abraham. They got to step up a little bit in their roles. And Jan Van Guybeek as well. That's just naming some players. Just to name some players. And, of course, Carolina Ferrer, if she gets to play. Keep that in mind. If she needs to play, she needs to step up. And this is a game that is on Saturday, I know. But I just thought, might as well get it out of the way. And there's no injuries on the Baylor side of things. Of course, we lost Kendra Gillespie to the transfer portal. But here's the deal. She wasn't playing nor being on the sideline since January 7th. The game is on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2. So that's just an FYI on that if you don't know that already. And I know it's been tough like recently with back-to-back losses to West Virginia and Iowa State. I know it has. But I know we've been better on the road than at home this year, which is unusual. But it's not a bad problem. It's just you got to win your home games. And this is, granted, a neutral site. I know we lost to Iowa State recently, but I know we are capable of beating this Alabama team. You got to stay mentally tough Of course, you gotta adjust to the officiating, and you don't want to pick up technical fouls as players. I mean, of course, you don't want flagrants, but that's besides the point. And it's just naming some good players on Alabama on their side. And as you could tell, they shoot threes just like Iowa State does. They're kind of similar to Iowa State a little bit, but not as good, nor they don't have a lot of players above 6'1". So she's really, that 6'4" player is more of a space eater, so to speak, like inside inside the 3-point line when compared. I mean, that's the truth. And their starting lineup for Alabama, by the way, Sarah Ashley Barker is one of them. Jada Rice is the other. That's as of last game. Aaliyah Nye is another one. Of course, their best player is going to be a starting Brittany Davis. So you got to stay composed as well in this game. And Hannah Barber. I mean, that's what I meant. So that's just an FYI on the starting lineup, so it doesn't surprise any of us at all on this. So really, it's mostly a guard lineup, which I kind of expected because a lot of guards on their team. You can't allow runs to happen, and I mean, that's the truth. Yeah, they only use like one center, and the rest, commonly used players are like guards. Though I know they played their other center last game, but it was practically a game that was decided by Kentucky with enough time left that it didn't really matter. So, yeah. Anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe, and see you guys later. It's 5 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go.